Ever feel like you're like drowning in a sea of information? Well, get ready, because today we're diving deep, and I mean really deep, into quantum computing.
Specifically, the really, really cold kind.
Right. Superconducting quantum computers.
Which, by the way, are way more complex than they sound.
Seriously, these machines, they could be like the key to solving problems, like problems that would take our regular computers, the ones we use every day, basically forever to solve. We're talking longer than the entire universe has existed, kind of forever.
No exaggeration there.
But, and this is a big but, actually scaling these systems up, it's turning out to be, well, it's really hard. Imagine if your sleek little smartphone, the one you're probably listening to this on.
We're recording with.
Yeah. Imagine if it was the size of like a refrigerator.
And covered in wires.
Yeah. A tangled mess of wires. That's kind of what the current state of quantum computing is like.
It's a bit of a bottleneck.
Okay. Bottleneck is an understatement. It's a roadblock, a massive one, but
there's hope.
There's always hope.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. And that's where today's deep dive comes in. Get ready to meet SEEQC.
They're a company that's claiming they've cracked the code on quantum scalability.
And they're doing it, get this, by borrowing, shall we say, borrowing a page from the history of computing itself.
It's a classic tale, really.
Yeah.
Early computers, they had a bit of a scaling problem themselves, didn't they?
Oh, totally. Remember those old pictures of computers that took up entire rooms?
Exactly. It wasn't until integrated circuits came along, those teeny tiny chips that make our modern devices possible, that computers were able to shrink down and, well, become ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous, I like that. And SEEQC, they're taking that same principle, the integrated circuit principle, and they're applying it to the quantum world.
Elegant, isn't it?
Crazy elegant. And you know what? Dr. Oleg Mukhanov, he's the co-founder of SEEQC, he actually showed a picture during his seminar, a picture of Google's 71-qubit quantum computer.
Impressive machine, no doubt.
Oh, totally. But it was totally dwarfed by this web of wires and components, like, surrounding it.
Like a technological spider web.
Yeah, exactly. It was like looking at a picture of an early vacuum tube computer. The resemblance was uncanny.
A bit of deja vu for the quantum world.
Totally. And Dr. Mukhanov, he called it a hairball of technology, which I love, because that's exactly what it is. It's a tangled mess, and it's what makes scaling up so incredibly difficult.
And it's not just about aesthetics, is it?
No, not at all. This whole complexity thing, it's not just messy. It has, real implications for reliability, for actually making these things work and for scaling them up to, do anything useful.
It actually goes against a fundamental principle of classical computing.
Oh, here we go, big words.
It's called Rent's rule.
Rent's rule. Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me. Sounds a little intimidating.
It's actually quite intuitive. Think of it like this. Imagine a city, right? A well-designed city. You wouldn't want the number of roads to increase at the same rate as the number of houses, would you?
That would be chaos.
Yeah.
Total gridlock.
Precisely. And that's what's happening with these quantum systems that are struggling to scale. They haven't figured out how to manage the increasing complexity as they add more qubits. Too many roads, not enough houses.
So what you're saying is current quantum systems, they're basically stuck in traffic.
You could say that. And that's where SEEQC's approach comes in. They've figured out a way to bypass this whole traffic jam. They're going digital.
Digital, like ones and zeros digital.
Exactly. Instead of this chaotic network of analog signals, they're using something called SFQ circuits.
SFQ.
Single flux quantum circuits. They're inherently digital and incredibly efficient.
So imagine a quantum computer that speaks the language of your smartphone.
Precisely.
That's wild. And instead of that spaghetti mess of wires, they're using elegant integrated chips. It's like, what's that expression? Trading in your
old jalopy for a Tesla.
Yes. Exactly. But before we get too far down that road, let's talk about where all this quantum magic happens inside a super-powered fridge.
Ah, yes. The dilution refrigerator. We're about to go sub-zero.
And I'm not talking about your average refrigerator. We're talking colder than the vacuum of space.
It's the only way to keep those superconducting qubits happy. Imagine, if you will, a high-tech layer cake.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. I love cake. What kind of cake are we talking about here?
Not a real cake, unfortunately. But imagine each layer of this cake is operating at a different temperature.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So at the bottom, we've got, the coldest part?
Exactly. At the very bottom, a frigid 20 millikelvin, you have the qubits themselves.
The stars of the show. Or should I say, the shivering stars of the show. 20 millikelvin, that's insanely cold.
It is indeed. And it's crucial for those superconducting qubits to maintain their delicate quantum states.
So they're like the temperamental divas of the quantum world?
Chuckles. Something like that. But as you move up this cake, the temperature gradually increases, and each layer has a specific role to play.
So what's the frosting on this quantum cake?
Well, at a relatively balmy 100 millikelvin, you have the control and readout circuits. These are the workhorses, managing the qubits every move.
Okay, so those are like the stage managers, making sure the divas don't throw a fit.
A very apt analogy. And then, at a downright tropical 600 millikelvin, you have the classical processing tasks, like error correction.
Error correction, right. Because even quantum divas need a little auto-tune now and then, am I right?
Precisely. And this multi-layered, multi-temperature approach has another advantage: modularity.
Modularity. So like being able to swap out parts, like upgrading your computer.
Exactly. You could, in theory, upgrade your quantum computer as easily as you upgrade your smartphone. That's the kind of flexibility CQC's approach offers.
Okay, that's pretty slick. And speaking of slick, let's talk about multiplexing. It sounds complicated, but it's basically like having a single conductor leading an entire orchestra, right?
That's a great way to put it. With digital multiplexing, you can control multiple qubits from a single SFQ driver.
Wait, hold up. So instead of needing a separate line for each qubit, they can control a bunch of them with just one.
Precisely. It's a significant departure from traditional analog setups, which require a dedicated line for each qubit. And as you can imagine, that gets messy quickly.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about a tangled mess of wires. So how many qubits can they control with one driver? Like a dozen?
CQC believes they can achieve multiplexing ratios of 1 to 64, or even higher.
Wow, 64 qubits on a single line. That's incredible. But let's not forget, we're still dealing with the quantum world here. How do we actually hear what these qubits are saying?
Readout. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one of the biggest challenges in quantum computing.
Go on, tell me more. I'm hooked.
Traditional readout methods, they involve sending a microwave signal down to the qubit and trying to decipher the faint echoes that come back.
So it's like trying to have a conversation in a crowded room by shouting and hoping you can make sense of the muffled replies.
An interesting analogy, but a fitting one. It's slow, it's inefficient, and it doesn't scale well at all.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster. But wait, doesn't CQC have a solution for this? Something about on-chip digital readout.
They do. CQC has developed something called a Josephson Digital Phase Detector, or JDPD for short.
A Josephson digital phase detector. Try saying that 5 times fast. So what does this JDPD do? Does it, like, amplify the qubit's whispers?
In a way, yes. It acts as a sort of quantum microphone, able to detect the subtlest whispers of the qubit and translate them into a clear digital signal that the SFQ circuits can understand.
So it's like a quantum translator. That's amazing. And this allows for faster and more accurate readout.
Precisely. This on-chip readout is not only faster and more accurate, but it also paves the way for real-time error correction, which is essential for building those large-scale, fault-tolerant quantum computers everyone is so excited about.
Okay, so if CQC manages to pull all of this off, what does the future hold? Are we going to have quantum computers in our pockets anytime soon?
Pocket-sized quantum computers might be a while off, but Dr. Mukhanov does have a compelling vision for the future. He envisions a world where quantum data centers are the norm, not cluttered labs.
So instead of giant supercomputers, we'll have sleek, modular quantum data centers.
That's an interesting thought. And this technology, it's not just limited to superconducting qubits, right?
Right. CQC believes their approach could be applied to other types of qubits as well.
Like ion traps and spin qubits. Those are some of the other quantum computing approaches I've heard about.
Exactly. It's as if they've stumbled upon a universal language for quantum computing. Or perhaps a universal translator is a better analogy. They're bridging the gap between quantum mechanics and digital electronics.
So potentially a huge breakthrough for the entire field of quantum computing. Not just a better superconducting quantum computer, but a better way to build any kind of quantum computer. Potentially, yes. It's still early days, of course, but that's what makes CQC's work so compelling. They're not just trying to build a faster computer. They're building a bridge to a future where quantum technology is no longer confined to research labs.
You know, it's funny you should mention a bridge to the future.
because that's exactly what CQC is building.
They really are. And Dr. Mukhanov, he actually highlighted this really well in his seminar. He contrasted like a picture of a chaotic data center.
You know, the ones with like just a jumble of wires and blinking lights.
Exactly. The CQC's vision for like a streamlined, modular quantum computing platform. And it drove home the point that they're not just building a faster computer.
Right. They're building, like you said, a whole new way of thinking about quantum architecture.
It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers, you know?
It's about elegance and simplicity, which, as we know, are often the hallmarks of truly groundbreaking technology.
Totally. And speaking of elegance, let's not forget about how this whole approach tackles that rents rule thing we were talking about.
Right. Unlike those tangled systems that are struggling to scale, CQC's digital architecture, with those clever little SFQ circuits.
They're more like superheroes than circuits at this point.
It just might be. But the point is, they scale in a way that's it's more natural. It aligns with that fundamental principle of interconnectedness in a way that other systems they don't.
It's like they've cracked the code or something.
It's certainly a promising sign.
And what's even more mind-blowing to me is how their technology isn't limited to just superconducting qubits.
Right. Dr. Mukhanov even hinted that these SFQ circuits could enhance other types of quantum computers too. Like he even mentioned ion traps and spin qubits.
It's like they found a universal language for quantum computing or something.
A universal translator might be a more accurate analogy, if you will.
I like it, bridging the gap between, the quantum world and the digital world.
Precisely. And that's what makes CQC's work so fascinating, so compelling. It's not just about building a faster computer.
It's about making quantum technology, actually useful.
Exactly.
So, okay, big question, and then I promise we'll let our listeners get back to their day. Let's say this whole SFQ thing, it actually, takes off. What kind of timeline are we looking at here? When can I expect to, have a quantum computer in my living room?
Well, a quantum computer in your living room might be a way off, even for a technology as, shall we say, as ambitious as this one.
Okay, fine. No quantum computer in my living room. But seriously, when are we going to start seeing some real-world applications for this stuff?
Well, it's always a gamble to predict the future.
That's what makes it fun, right?
It does. But, in all seriousness, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect some significant advancements, some real breakthroughs within the next decade, maybe even sooner.
A decade, huh?
And those breakthroughs, those advancements, they could revolutionize entire industries.
We could see new medicines.
In materials.
Faster financial algorithms.
The possibilities are truly, dare I say it, endless.
Endless possibilities. That's what I like to hear.
And that's the beauty of these deep dives, isn't it? We explore the fringes of the unknown.
We ask the big questions.
And we dare to imagine a future that's full of incredible possibilities.
It's enough to inspire just about anyone.
It is.
So, to our listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of superconducting quantum computing, we want to leave you with this. The most exciting discoveries, they might not be about the qubits themselves, but about how we control them, how we talk to them, and how we integrate this mind-blowing technology into our world.
So keep asking questions, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to unlock the next big breakthrough in quantum computing.
And that is a wrap on another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.